Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Jordan and welcome to today's video, which is a reading vlog that I got the idea to do from ChatGPT. I was recently having a conversation with AI, which I will post here for you to read. Pause and read if you want. And I was asking it about posting schedules to generate growth, and then specifically within the booktube niche, video ideas, content ideas. And one of the things it suggested to do is a TBR jar reading challenge, which is totally not new. I've seen tons of people use TBR jars here on booktube and I love those videos. I love the idea of random prompts determining what you read. And I have basically 24 hours in front of me where I have a lot of reading time, audiobook listening time actually, and I thought it would be fun to do a TBR jar type challenge to determine what I read over those 24 hours. Not only did ChatGPT determine this video idea, sort of, I also asked them to generate the TBR jar prompts. So I've got 100 reading prompts to choose from. Instead of reading through them and just picking which ones I wanted to fulfill, I thought I would use a random number generator to determine which of the 100 prompts I use to pick a book or a couple of books to read for the next 24-ish hours. Before I talk about what I'm doing over that time, let's go ahead and pick the prompt and then we'll see if I can find an audiobook to fit that prompt that I'm interested in reading. So let me start recording my screen. I just typed in random number generator into Google, minimum 1, maximum 100, generate. 59. Okay, so now if I go back to AI's prompts that it gave me, and if I look at number 59, it says a book set in the future. Okay, that should be doable. I do really like sci-fi books, especially ones set in the future or with some kind of like time travel element where someone is going between the future and the past. So that is what I'm going to look for. As I determine that, let me tell you what I'm doing today. So I am going on a little solo road trip. I'm driving to Minneapolis, where tonight Ed Sheeran is doing a concert. I recently got tickets for it. I'm very excited. I will be meeting my brother and his wife and going to the concert with them. They live basically in the opposite direction, so we're meeting in the middle in Minneapolis. So on that 4-hour drive there and back, I have audiobook time. Also, while I'm there, while I'm getting ready and stuff, I should be able to listen to a book. I think I'm also going to stop at IKEA, which should be fun, and also I can listen to a book while I'm doing that. So lots of audiobook listening time. Let's go ahead and see what I can find that I want to read. First, I want to look at my owned TBR to see if any of those books fit, and then I'll see if I can find them on audio. Okay, The 7-Year Slip by Ashley Poston is calling to me. I don't know if it's technically set in the future. I think it might be the past. Okay, yeah, so it's a guy who exists in the past, so technically not the future. Let's keep looking. Ooh, okay, I have a couple of John Marrs books. The one is one that I'm actually saving for a readathon later in this month, but I also have The Passengers, which I do believe is like a dystopian book set slightly in the future. Looks like it takes place with self-driving cars, and it's some kind of like hidden camera TV show. Okay, I think this is it. Let's see if I can find this one on audio. Okay, unfortunately, I'm not finding it for free on any of my audiobook apps, but I do have 2 Libro FM credits, so I think I'm going to go ahead and use one of those on this book, because I would love to knock it off of my physical TBR. Okay, and it looks like it's less than 12 hours long. If I can bump that up to at least 2 times speed, then I can definitely finish it within the timeline of this video and possibly start or finish another book as well. So that's the plan. I'm going to go ahead and start this book, start my road trip. I will be back once I have an update, once I'm a little bit into this book and can give you the full synopsis, my initial thoughts, and update you on what else I'm doing throughout my day. All right, update time. I just stopped for lunch. I just got to the Minneapolis area, and that doesn't say it. I picked up Portillo's, which is one of the things I miss the absolute most about living in the Minneapolis area. If you live in Minneapolis or Chicago and you have not tried Portillo's, get on it. It's so good, especially their cheese fries. Okay, my other update is that I am 48% into The Passengers, and so far it's going pretty well. It totally fits the prompt. It is set in the future. I didn't catch a year, I don't think it said, but it's in the not too distant future when self-driving cars are prominent. In fact, they're required. This book is set in the UK, and at the time this book is set, The UK has just put forth a law that within 5 years, all manual person driving cars are illegal and only self-driving cars are allowed on the road. And they're not just self-driving cars that humans can override. Like, there's no steering wheel, no brake pedal, nothing. Humans cannot intervene. The cars 100% drive themselves, which, for the record, I am all for. I am pro self-driving car. I think it will make things so much more efficient. In general, it will make things safer. So I really like this setting and this idea and seeing how it kind of plays out. But the plot of this book is that part 1 is 5 different chapters of us meeting 5 different characters who are in their self-driving cars as they get hijacked and they start going to an unknown location, and they learn that they have no control over their vehicle, and in 2.5 hours they are most likely going to die. So it definitely starts with a bang. I really enjoyed that first part. In part 2 and then up to, the 48% mark that I'm at, we are learning more about the situation, and without giving too much spoilers, this is also kind of a TV show where the hijacker is broadcasting each of the cars that he's taken over, he or she, I don't know the gender, and he's asking people and the public to basically vote for who of the passengers they want to die, and he's periodically killing some of them off. And he's saying that one person at the end will walk free, but everyone else will die before he's done with them. It is pretty entertaining. There are some slow parts. We're also following some people who are not in the cars, who are watching it take place. Some of them have more control than others, or have different relations to the people in the cars. And those parts, for some reason, are not as interesting to me. I'm getting a little bored from those sections, but I understand why they're in there for context. But yeah, I am excited to continue listening to this book. I'm on 2.5 speed right now, and it's the perfect speed to still understand everything that's going on, but moving through it pretty quickly. My plan now is I am about 30 minutes away from IKEA, so I'm going to eat my lunch while I drive there. I'm going to do some shopping at IKEA. I will show you some B-roll, but then I probably won't check into you until from the hotel or once I get to the hotel, whatever I'm doing later this afternoon. Okay, I'm back. Good news and bad news. The bad news is I was atrocious at vlogging in IKEA. For some reason, my brain just shut off, and I was sending pictures back and forth to my husband trying to figure out what to buy, and the idea of vlogging just left my mind until I was checking out. So apologies for that. We did get a couple furniture items that we have been interested in for our new house. So that was good and productive. And now, obviously, I have made it to the hotel for the night. My brother and his wife are something like 10 to 15 minutes out, so I'll just wait for them here. I also need to get fully ready because obviously my face is very shiny and not quite concert ready. So I'm gonna start getting ready. I'm going to finish listening to The Passengers. I only have 45 minutes left in the audiobook. So I am very rapidly approaching the end, and I'm really liking it. I did really like kind of the middle portion of this book where we're getting to know each of the people in this game show personally, and we're getting to know what people know about them publicly, and then some skeletons that they each have in their closets, and it's made it very juicy. However, there are a couple things that I find weird about this book that are, I guess, kind of mild spoilers, because I'm going to talk about what is happening at this stage of the book that I'm in. So it's not the very ending, and I'm not going to talk about the ending and the twists and things, but mild spoilers. If you have not read the book, go ahead and mute me or skip ahead until you don't see the word spoilers on the screen. But if you've read the book or you don't plan on reading the book, here's what I think is weird is that whole game show part ended already, and now we're seeing the aftermath, which feels weirdly anticlimactic. I don't know what else is gonna happen. Again, I still have 45 minutes to listen to, but it's weird that that wasn't the climax of the book, the finding out who is gonna survive that collision thing. Also, a thing I found weird and unbelievable earlier in the book. This is also, I would consider a spoiler. So if you haven't read the book and you're still here, but you don't want to know something about one of the characters, again, skip ahead. But the fact that one of the guys that was one of the contestants had a secret family that a whole separate wife and 2 children that have the same names as his regular children? That seems weird and unlikely. Like that both wives would want those names. That just seemed very weird to me. And then also the idea that this is such a futuristic society where already I could look at our society and I think the idea of having a secret family is crazy. And for anyone who is online any amount, that would be so hard to keep a secret. So thinking even more into the future when I'm assuming even more data on people is available, like how is that even possibly an attainable secret? I don't know. That just felt really weird. But okay, spoilers over. I am going to finish this book here for the last little while when I can until my brother and sister-in-law get here. We're gonna get ready for the concert. We're gonna go to the concert. I will do my best, knock on wood, to actually record clips of the concert to include in here. I won't spam you. I know that most people aren't interested in watching grainy concert footage, but I think there are a few people who might be interested, so I'll include a little bit of it. And then I will probably check back in with you tomorrow when I am back in my car and starting my road trip back home. And at that time I can, number one, wrap up the passengers, and then number two, pick my second book, which hopefully I can start and finish also tomorrow within the 24 hours.
Try to swim and stay close. Try hard to stay close. Loose change, banknotes, so baby I gotta go. Ooh, girl, move on. They say she's in the class 18, stuck in her daydream. This way since 18, but lately the event seems slowly sinking, wasting, crumbling like pastry. They scream the worst things in life come free to us, 'cause she's just under the upper hand. Goes mad for a couple grand. She don't wanna go outside tonight, 'cause in the pipe she'll fly to the motherland, sell love to another man. It's too cold outside for angels. All this time, God knows I'm singing. Each and every day, she play away. I can't get her out of my mind. Think about the girl all the time. I like the way you work it. Got to bag it up. See, I like the way you work it. Got to bag it up now. I like the way you work it. Got to bag it up. I like the way you work it. Minneapolis, one more time, hands in the air, sing hey yo, hey yo, hey yo. girl is good. Play on, play on, play on. Damn, that girl is good. And my love, that heart is so. You see this pylon here? And you see this pylon here? That is going to split the stadium in two. And everyone on this side, you are going to be the lower harmony of the choir. And everyone on this side, you are going to be the higher harmony of the choir. Lower harmony, higher harmony. Whatever I give you to sing, do not stop singing. You sing it out as loud as you can for as long as you can. But the trick is, you guys are in competition, so you got to sing louder than them, and you got to sing louder than them. Lower harmony, say yeah! Higher harmony, say yeah! They might just be a tiny bit louder than you. You want to try it again? Say yeah! Say yeah! Repeat after me. Do not stop singing. Here we go. You sing whoa. Sing it loud for me. Come on, sing it loud. Keep that going. Listen. Just sing whoa. Sing loud. Sing loud. Give me love. Give me love. Alright, sing it loud. Give me love. Give me love. Give me love. Oh, make some noise for Khalid. 12 hours last night and we made it away. Oh, I see stars in your eyes and we're halfway there. And I'm not fazed by all the lights and lights you can. Cause with my arms around you, there's no need to care. We are just ourselves. I could use some help getting out of this conversation. Your love's unending, so don't ask that question. This is my only fear, that we become beautiful people to the top designer club. Front row and fashion shows, what you do and who you know. Inside the world of beautiful people, champagne and rolled up nose. Freedoms and broken homes, surrounded but still alone. Not to steal the party, that's not who we are. We are not beautiful. She's going to be joining us on this song, but I would like to hear what 72,000 people all at the same time sound like saying, "Hi, Alicia!" Let's go. Oh, that's good. She played a fiddle in an Irish band. She fell in love with an English man. Kissed her on the neck and then I took her by the hand. Baby, and just wanted to dance. I met her up the street. Inside of the bar, she shared a cigarette with me. Only by the ladies' car, she had the quarters of me. Didn't get them around, said you'd be one of my friend's songs. Do you wanna drink up? She took me as a chaser. Jack with the punch, she got under the table with Johnny riding the shotgun. Tried to get to it, I want you in the bar, then riding the deep box, got up to gun. Played a fiddle in an Irish band. She fell in love with an you got energy for one more? Minneapolis, put both hands in the air. Time the sun goes down, I let you take control. I can feel the paradise before my world ends. Tonight had something wonderful. Let me see you jump, bad habits need to
What was that? I missed the pedal. I missed hitting the pedal.
And tonight had something wonderful. Let me see you jump, that habits need to late nights and long conversations with a stranger I barely know. Swimming this will be the last, but it probably be wrong. I got nothing left to lose or use or do. My bad habits lead to what the ice is late. And I know I lose control. Minnesota, I love you so much. Thank you so much. Autumn is coming. I'll see you soon.
All right, friends, it is the next morning. Post-concert blues are setting in. Coffee and a croissant have been secured, so I've got my fuel for driving home. A little bit about the concert. It was amazing. As always, Ed Sheeran is so incredible. My favorite part was when he messed up the very last song. I've seen him now 5 times in concert, and that was the only time I've ever seen him mess up using his loop pedal. So I thought it was endearing. And it was very cool, the stage being circular like that and him going around on that little spinny track. Made for a very cool experience, especially because the entire floor is just general admission, so it's just freestanding area. And we got there right when doors open, and we were able to go kind of towards the back, but we were able to get really close to the stage. And then when he would go on that circular thing, he got really close, you know, to everyone around the whole circle. So incredible. 72,000 fans, and I was within 3 people of Ed Sheeran, which is awesome. I loved it, and now it's time to drive home. So with that, I have to give you my update of The Passengers, which I finished this morning. And in general, I liked it. I didn't love it, but I had a fun time with it. I'm overall just surprised that it was more than just the thrill of the initial setup, which maybe is my fault for not knowing that going in, but I was expecting like the thrill of what's happening to these passengers in these self-driving cars to be the main focus, and that it ended up spanning more than that. And I liked the discussion it had. There was a lot of discussion about the safety of self-driving cars, the ethics that go into programming things like that in terms of determining if there's going to be a collision. Do the cars have an impact in who lives and dies? Or is there ever a case for intervening and injuring or killing an innocent person to save whoever's in the car, etc. I definitely don't have the answers, and I know that those are discussions that need to be had as self-driving cars become more and more prominent. And overall, I did like that explanation. So my rating for this book is probably like a 3.5. I think I'm gonna put it in Goodreads as a 3 because I don't know, it's not one of my favorites that I've read recently, but I did enjoy it. Now it's time to pick what book I'm going to listen to on my drive home, and so I'm going to go back to my random number generator. Let me go back to recording. Let me make sure it's going to max 100. Not that. 100. And generate number 63. So now if I go back to the prompts that AI had generated for me, let's look at number 63, a book set in a different time period. Wait. Okay, now as I'm looking at these AI developed prompts, I'm seeing that number 60 and number 63 are the exact same prompts. So that means there's probably other repeats in here that I did not know about, because again, I did not read every single prompt before I started this. Let me pick a different number to get a different prompt, because also a different time period and futuristic time period are really similar. So re-recording, generating a new number, 22. Let's see what that gets us. Okay, 22, a book set in a historical period you're interested in. Can I get something that's not related to time? Sorry, I'm gonna do another one. Let's see what else we can get. 94. A book recommended by a family member. That is interesting. I don't have, honestly, a lot of family members who read. There was one book that my cousin, I think, recommended to me. I can't remember if she said she's read it or she had friends that had read it. I believe it's called The Light Pirate. Okay, I think this is gonna be what I have to pick. So I'm gonna cross out my cousin's name, but she asked if I had read The Light Pirate by Lily Brooks-Dalton, which I hadn't. She said Judy Blume mentioned it on a talk show, her favorite up-and-coming author, and I said I looked at the synopsis and it looked really good. She had not read it, but she was adding it to her list. And this was back in April. This is the only book recommendation from a family member that I think I have, so I gotta go with it. Looks like it's 11 hours and 18 minutes long. The hold for it at my library is too long to be worth it, so I'm gonna go ahead and use a credit. 18 hours long means I probably won't finish it on this drive, but I will at least start it. Also, 24 hours has officially passed, so maybe I turn this into 48 hours? I don't know. I'll decide that later, but long story short, I'm going to start this book right now. As I drive home, I will check in at some point to give you the synopsis. I think it's historical fiction, but I'm actually not sure. So I'll let you know once I know. I'll be back with an update and check in once I'm bored with this drive. All right, hello friends. Clearly I am home, so time has passed. It's actually the next day and about exactly 48 hours since the very first clip. So this has been much more of a 48-hour reading vlog, but I did want to finish that second book that I started before I came back to you so that I could give you like conclusion on the books that I read in this video. So I did finish The Light Pirate. I did not come back with more of an update because basically once I got home, I just crashed on the couch with my kids, which was wonderful. And then I finished this book last night and just a little bit this morning. This book is not what I expected, which I'm not really sure what that's saying because I didn't know anything about it going in other than it was recommended to me by my cousin, but also she hadn't read it either. So I really had no preconceived notion about whether I would actually enjoy this one. It turns out it's actually a futuristic climate fiction type book. The writing style, I would say, felt most similar to historical fiction in that it was very character focused and it was focused on what this family was dealing with in their environment around them. This takes place in the not too distant future. It didn't give a year, at least that I caught, but it is during a time when the United States is absolutely crumbling. This family that we're following lives in Florida and hurricane season is awful. It's so destructive, and every time there's a hurricane, it's basically like, is Florida going to be completely wiped off the map this time? They don't know. But it's largely a survival story, just surviving these storms and the deteriorating state of Florida and really the United States as a whole. But this book also reminded me a lot of Where the Crawdads Sing by Delia Owens, because there's a lot of talk in here about still appreciating nature and still feeling connected to where you live. And this family doesn't want to evacuate because Florida is their home. They also have this sense of duty. The father in this family and later one of the sons are in the business of repairing like the electrical lines and the infrastructure after these storms. So they feel like if they leave, who's going to take care of everybody else that's left? So it was really interesting. I really liked it. There is also a small, very small kind of magical realism sort of element. I could get past it because it was really, really minor in the story, and it almost could be chalked up to more of like an intuition or also even like an unexplained scientific phenomenon. It's not really explained. It's more of like, again, the connection to nature is so strong in one of the characters that it verges on supernatural. So all in all, I really liked it. I'm gonna give it 4 stars. And I guess my recommendation would be, one, if you are interested in climate fiction, though I don't know a lot of people who are into that as a genre. And technically, I guess that would be science fiction, but it's not heavy on the science fiction. Again, I would relate it more closely to historical fiction in the writing style. But if you're a fan of historical fiction, just know this one's set in the future, but similar vibes. So definitely a hidden gem here, a book that I had not really heard of before. I definitely will be texting my cousin after this, telling her that I took that recommendation and I enjoyed it, and I think she'll like it as well. And because I don't own this book, I definitely don't know if or when I would have gotten to it otherwise. So that is always fun when that happens for a reading vlog like this. So all in all, I would call this a success. I finished 2 books in 48 hours, which is definitely a win for me. I got a 3-star and a 4-star book out of the deal, which is not too bad. I don't know if I'm gonna let AI pick my TBRs or reading plans going forward. I do feel like their list of reading prompts could be refined a little bit and perfected, but this was a fun way to pick what I'm reading over a weekend. Now I want to chat with you about the experience. Let me know if you have read either of the books that I read during this vlog and what your thoughts were. If you haven't read them, let me know if you were interested in either of them. And thirdly, let me know if you have any interesting ideas on how I could take this AI picks what I read idea and change it up or expand it further. I know that I've only scratched the surface in how I could potentially use AI in my content going forward, or, you know, use it to my benefit in generating content ideas, but I'm still a beginner at prompting it. So I could definitely use any ideas that any of you have. But other than that, I don't think I have anything else. So thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you in my next one.